You're listening to the Teach Better Talk podcast featuring expert educators eager to share progressive tactics to reach more students. Teach Better Talk is created by teachers and fueled by passion. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 239 of Teach Better Talk podcast. My name is Ray Hewart, and as always, dun dun dun. Guys, I'm here with Jeff. What's up, Jeff?
I don't understand the sound effects, but I kind of hope that Chris takes it and we use it a whole bunch of other places from now on forward. So.
Wait, you know what? Chris really enjoys when I'm funny, and he laughs when he's editing our podcast recording, and so I hope he gets a good chuckle in. I don't know what you're blabbing about, Jeff.
I'm not. I'm good. I'm good, Ray. I'm excited. This is our first. I was about to lie. I was about to say this is our first time recording in the new year, but we just recorded 3 episodes like 2 days ago.
We just recorded on Saturday, and now we're recording now.
This is the first Monday night of recording for the new year. So that's exciting, right?
It's very exciting. I was actually thinking, I know we have a really great episode we're going to get to on a topic that I felt was really relevant and interesting. But before we do that, I do want to get into something cool that podcast listeners need to make sure they do today when they're listening that the episode comes out, because it's the last day of something really important on the team. However, can we first do what's up, Jeff? How are you? How's life? We haven't done that in a while. How are you, buddy? What's up?
I'm good. Things are good.
Yeah.
I smashed my head today. Can you see this? I think it's gonna scar. It's bad. It hurts. Other than that,
Can you explain to me how a man of your age smashes his head?
I think a man of my age.
I won't out your age.
There's a lot of reasons you could think of.
I won't out your age to our podcast listeners, but I'm there's not many times that I smash my head, and I'm way younger than you.
This is the result of an ongoing issue that I have in my office space. I'm rearranging stuff so things aren't where they normally are or where they're going to be. Okay. And one of the things that is not where it should be or where it's going to end up be or in a good spot is my light that's over here. Okay? My light has the umbrella that helps reflects the light back. But on this side of it is the butt end of the umbrella. Here, I can actually show you here.
Oh, it's the pointy end.
Yeah, like this. And so I just happened to turn and boom, caught my head in it. Luckily, I could have lost an eye. Who knows? But and I haven't done it. Are you okay? It's been in that spot for several weeks now, and I haven't had any issue. But something with the way I moved today, I did it. So I'm well, that's going down. And I feel like it's light and okay, so we're gonna be okay. So
let's just clarify, Jeff, because we're on a podcast. So if you're watching us on YouTube, you can see the thing on Jeff's head. But if you're not, let me describe it for you, podcast listeners. If you're driving in your car, maybe listening to this while you're getting ready in the morning, Jeff's entire face is black and blue, and he has blood gushing down his forehead.
It's a small, I don't know, inch or something, maybe 2-inch slash on above my left eye, or whatever the size, my left eye. It hurts though. It's weird. It didn't swell up, didn't hurt at first, but did not. Other than that, I'm great. This week's a whole lot of, wrapping up 2020 stuff, planning for 2021 stuff. And, so I get to do a lot of looking back of all the awesomeness that's happened in the last 12 months, but also all the exciting things that we have planned for 2021 and laying out goals and ideas and stuff. It's always a lot of fun. So it's a lot of spreadsheets and numbers and stuff, which can be boring or not necessarily boring, but mind-numbing, but then also a lot of excitement stuff because I'm doing a lot of, planning and getting excited about stuff. So that's kind of fun too.
So let me just cut in here, Jeff. Can I just cut in? I'm very concerned that you're hurting yourself in your office, but I'm glad that you're alive and well with 2 eyes and a fractured face.
Well, and outside of that, I'm doing great. It's been, this week is a whole lot of reflecting on 2020 and planning for 2021 stuff. We've done a lot of planning already, but this week for me is a whole lot of working out stuff. So it's a lot of spreadsheets and numbers and stuff, which can be, I don't want to say boring, but mind-numbing, but then also a lot of excitement because we're hey, let's finalize some of these goals. Let's put some pieces together. Let's start thinking about this project and stuff. So I'm doing great other than slamming my head.
So I know this isn't relevant to our podcast listeners, but strictly for you and me, it's kind of interesting because a lot of my role on the team was feeling like we need to do that in December. So we'd be ready to share and like get marketing plans together for the beginning of the year. But with your role on the team, like structuring every project on the planet, it makes sense that now at the beginning of the year you're in that. It's kind of cool.
It's taken all the stuff we did in November, December, and now it's like, and it's really, most of that, it's already like, a lot of it's already in process, but it's some of the ones that don't have to happen like right now, like the logistical pieces and laying out and stuff like that. And there was some finalizing pieces because everything's grown a lot in 2020. So there's like a few things like, hey, like we didn't even like plan for like goals for that part, or we didn't think about this. So, and I'm doing a lot of looking, the end of the year or the January is a lot of like, for me, unfortunately, there's a lot of accounting pieces that have to happen and taxes and stuff. And that leads to a lot of like budgeting again and looking out and stuff. So, but it's fun. I mean, it's always exciting for me. The only really downside is like I kind of get head down. And so I don't talk to anyone. And like, I don't like that, but you know.
I called you twice today.
You did. And you know, I enjoy how you call me because you have a very, I don't know what I'll call it, a very Ray system. And we'll call it that. Where you like system? To call me, and then as it's ringing, you look at my calendar and see that I'm busy. But just keep on calling anyway.
Okay, I think a good goal for me in 2021 would be that I would check your calendar first and then call you. But instead, I call you, and then while it's ringing, I check your calendar. And even if you're not available, I'm like, well, I'm already calling. I might as well just let it ring.
Now, in your defense, I really just had my day blocked off so that no one could book time with me.
Right.
Because I knew I was going to be head down and stuff. So, like, you're fine. Right. I'm good. How are you? You were back with your kids today?
I was back in school, but we had an institute day today.
Okay, gotcha.
So, it was all meetings. Actually, can I give a shout out? My principal had a bunch of data that he shared with teachers, like about not only results of how last semester went at a district level, you know, at a community level, but actually a lot of data of surveying teachers, surveying students, surveying parents. And he ended up presenting it in our staff meeting using Pear Deck, which I know a lot of teachers use that. It was cool to see an administrator model a tool that teachers are using because like being on the student end was cool. And then he shared what he was seeing and what we were seeing. And then he made it really interactive. So like before he shared the statistics, he would like have us guess what we thought the results were. And I just really appreciated that he tried to make this like raw data engaging for staff. Yeah. So it was a cool morning. Very cool.
That's cool. So you're back with your kids tomorrow?
Back with kids tomorrow. Back with kids tomorrow and a new student teacher.
Oh, awesome. And you're all going back hybrid, right?
So we are remote this week, and then when this releases on the 14th, we'll be hybrid. So
okay, so you're doing a week back remote and then going back. Okay, is that just because of where county levels are or cases, or just kind of easy
Jeff,
back in?
Don't be silly. No one knows why. I am just a classroom teacher. We are going with the flow. We are embracing decisions that are made for us and making the most of them, Mr. Jeff Gargis.
Take it. All right, so let's talk about this thing that you feel that everyone listening needs to do today. Now, this is only relevant really if you're listening on this day.
Literally today, like the 14th of January, because if you're listening to this the day after, you missed it, but don't worry, it will come back again in February and possibly March. So if you missed
every month of the year.
Right, I didn't want to like out the whole year system, but yeah, it's going to happen every month, so no stress. But January was like kind of kicking it off with a bang, so it was kind of extra special this month. So if you're listening and it's still January 14th, check your phone, check your watch, then go do this super duper fast.
Ray, please tell me this has something to do with giving something away.
It totally does. So we are doing a January giveaway, and we're actually planning on doing a giveaway every single month. And this is totally spurred from members of our team wanting to know why we don't give more stuff away. And I think our response was, I don't know, I guess 2021 is the year where we should just give things away more often than we already do. I kind of thought we gave stuff away often, but apparently not.
I get yelled at all the time for giving stuff away. What is that?
I know, between the brain break we give stuff away, the 12-hour live we give thousands of dollars of stuff away. But apparently, Jeff, our social media department really isn't happy and they want us to do more. So we are, which is exciting.
Hey, got to keep them happy.
Got to keep them happy. No, seriously. I mean, like Bella, Emily, Becky, you don't mess with them. Like if they need something, you say yes. So anywho, we are giving away, our January giveaway is super, super special. I'm honored to be involved. We're giving away a one-on-one coffee with me, which is kind of cool. It's really just cool for me. I don't know that anybody else is interested in that, but I'm stoked. And then with that, you get a $15 Starbucks gift card, and you get lifetime access to the Teach Better Academy that has so many courses in it. And when I say lifetime access, I don't mean just like right now you get all the courses, but literally anything published in the Academy in the future is all yours. And it's pretty cool.
So you get lifetime Academy membership, plus a gift card, plus dinner with you.
No, it's like a hangout session.
Sorry, not dinner.
It
coffee.
Could be dinner, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Coffee. I mean, you could eat dinner while you're on with the virtual hangout.
We could go on a date. It could be great. Yeah, I'm all in.
I thought, and apparently I was wrong. I thought when I approved the giveaways that it was just a gift card, but I'm pretty sure the other stuff got added. But I'm all for it because I'm pretty sure I didn't read any of them anyways. I just approved it because let's face it, I don't question Bella, Emily, or Becky. I just kind of do what I'm told. That's awesome.
Well, I was excited they were setting me up on coffee dates because I'm like, sign me up. I want to talk to hang out with more people. And then I asked appropriately, do I get a Starbucks gift card because I have to get coffee? And their answer was no.
No. So the Starbucks card's cool. Hanging out with you is cool, but like I hope people listen. I hope you realize the value of the courses, because right now there's like $800, $900 worth of courses in there. Plus all the free ones. Plus, we're releasing a new course every 30, 45 days. So, like, there's another, like, 12 coming this year.
Yeah,
which means,
Dave Schmitto said that whoever won lifetime access should be really young so they could really milk the lifetime access. So, I'm just saying. I remember.
Okay, so go ahead. I was going to ask how to win, but you go ahead and tell your story first.
That's probably what people want to hear, but I just want people to know that Jeff Gargas decided we could give away lifetime access, and I vividly remember the day. It was like literally, Jeff, I think it was my first year on the team, and I was like, I think the Teach Better team is so awesome. And you said we were giving away lifetime access to the Academy. This was years ago, and I looked at you and I was like, that can't actually be a prize. And now I'm like, woo, let's do it. So I've learned.
Hey, you know,
it's awesome.
That's awesome. So, all right. So in February's got a lot to live up to, but okay. All right. So how do I win?
Okay. This
not me,
this
but
month,
like if I'm listening, how do I win? I don't really want to.
Yeah. Jeff Gargas can't win. But if you're listening and you're listening to this on the 14th, it's 3 steps. And it's 3 steps all focused on Instagram. So if you don't have an Instagram account, no kidding, just make one and it will count. Like even if it's not like legit your favorite account ever, like it's super easy. But you need to go follow the Teach Better team on Instagram. That's step 1. Step 2 is there's going to be a picture and you need to share that in your Instagram story and make sure to tag us in the Instagram story at Teach Better Team. And then the last thing is that on that picture, you need to comment the word boom. And that will be the last step. So seriously, it's like super easy. I know it's 3 steps, but follow, post in your stories and tag us, and then comment on the photo.
That's
boom.
My favorite thing ever. Whose idea was to add boom?
Bella and Emily.
Bella and Emily get something from Jeff. We'll figure that out.
They're
That's
so
awesome. I love it. All right. So first thing, go to Instagram.com/TeachBetterTeam, or if you're on the app, just search Teach Better Team. Find that picture in our stories and add it to their story.
The picture is like a post. It's a post.
So it's a
you
post,
can just share
so they can find it anytime they don't. Okay, and then share it and make sure you put boom. I love it.
Boom.
I love it. So see, even if you're newer to Instagram, this is forcing you to learn how to add text to a picture, how to share a post. Like, we're educating constantly. I love it.
Wait, and great point, Jeff. If you don't know how to do one of the steps, guys, don't go for the giveaway. Like, just DM us and we'll show you. I would love to help you get yourself registered for this giveaway.
Bella, your login information, she'll jump in and take care of it for you.
She totally would. So
we don't condone sharing your social media profile information with anyone, but just Anyway, all right, let's get into this episode. So, Evan Erdberg, who is our guest for tonight, good dude, doing some really cool stuff. A little bit different than some of our other guests. Not a classroom teacher. He's a CEO and founder of Proximity Learning. But he's been in the online digital learning space for, he set up over 20 years now, in a variety of different ways. But he started this company, Proximity Learning. They've been going for a while now. And what they're really trying to focus on is providing districts the option of virtual teachers being streamed into classrooms when there's teacher shortages, when they don't have anyone to be in the classroom. And you're in that moment where you're a little worried, where maybe all you can afford to do is either push kids into another room or a sub that maybe isn't as in tune with the instructional practices. This is a way for you to get that gap filled. I love their focus on what they're trying to do. So I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed his story. I always enjoy, entrepreneur stories when they come on. He went that way a little bit. So good episode. Excited for everyone to listen to it. Ray, anything you want to throw in before we jump in?
I would love for all of you to listen with the lens of somebody seeing a problem and being eager to solve it. So whether this be the dilemma that really hits somewhere special, we're like, it's so inspiring that he did this, or you have your own problem you see in education and you are trying to seek a solution for. It was a really cool theme in this episode. I really appreciated that.
I love it. Let's get to episode 239 with Evan Erdberg.
Hey everyone, I am so glad that you're enjoying the episode so far, and I just want to give a quick shout out to all the speakers a part of the Teach Better Speakers Network. Our Speakers Network is continuously growing to offer all of our network the most diverse lineup of educators humanly possible to serve your needs, whether it be in the classroom or just coaching your coaches. You can see the full list of the speakers a part of the Teach Better Speakers Network at teachbetter.com/speakers network. We so appreciate these amazing educators who continue to share their insights, and it's a great spot to head over to if you are looking to connect with other educators and or bring someone in with your staff to motivate and talk about best practices. Head over to teachbetter.com/speakers network for the full list. Let's get back to the episode.
All right, we're here and we are chatting with Evan Erdberg. And Evan, awesome to have you on the podcast, man. Super excited to talk to you, to learn about you and what you got going on. But before we get too far into the questions, man, how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling pretty good and healthy, man. I mean, besides gaining the COVID-15 from staying home for 5 or 6 months, I'm okay.
Well, Evan, we're super glad you're here. Jeff and I are really excited to dive into the typical questions, really learn about all the support you have and continue to provide teachers. Before we get too far in, would you mind kind of answering that silly question of like, hey, Evan, what do you do?
Sure. So I actually founded and run a company called Proximity Learning that actually provides virtual teachers into school districts when they can't find the teachers locally. So we've been doing this for almost 10 years now. And because of COVID, now it's become mainstream. So we've been here, and that's kind of what I've been doing and keeping myself busy with.
So that spurs on a question from me here, Evan. Wondering, obviously things have changed a lot, everything with with COVID and shutdowns and stuff. Would assume that would have a positive impact on your business. How much has business and things changed for you and your team since past last March?
Well, a lot of things have changed. Last March, only about 20% of school districts in the country actually had online education as part of their curriculum. Now 100% of school districts do. And so we're seeing mass adoption and acceptance when before it was a lot of reticence. Two, we are seeing a mass exodus of teachers, which, there was always a teacher shortage, and that's what we were here to help, bridge the gap. But now it's becoming, a crisis because teachers don't want to go back to school and they'd rather not work or stay at home than even, take the chance of going back into school. So we're in a whole new world of teacher shortages, and it's pretty scary. It's pretty scary to see where it's headed right now.
And so then one of the things that your team does and what you offer is a district who might be seeing a more extreme shortage than normal, or the inability to find the teachers that they need. Your team can come in and provide that assistance while they figure out, while they get their new staff up and running.
Exactly. So we're kind of what we call HR backup plan. So normally, if there's no teacher, a student, if they're lucky, their sub would be a retired teacher, right? And they'd have at least the understanding of how to run a classroom and teach the curriculum. But most students do not get that lucky. Most substitutes may or may not have graduated college, might just have graduated high school. They have no training. They're really just sitting there, in order to keep order in the classroom. So no instructions happening until they find a teacher. So what we do is we come in and partner with the district to say, all right, great, keep that facilitator there for ensuring the class maintains order, but then let us stream a highly qualified state certified teacher in virtually live every day to lead instruction. So at least they're getting instruction from a content, certified teacher. And we stay in that classroom until they can fill that position locally. So the students don't have to, go without education. In some parts of the country, there's instances where a school can't find a teacher for a year or 2 years, and those kids would lose that year or 2 years of education. So we kind of bridge that gap to make sure students have a fighting chance to be successful no matter where they are. And we allow a school district the time to find a teacher.
Gotcha. So this whole story, just with you starting a company and you running this, gets me excited as an entrepreneur myself to ask this next question. So one thing we always talk about on this podcast is overcoming failure. And so I'd love to hear this from your side. If you could share a story with us about a time that you've had a failure, kind of take us there with you. What happened? How did you overcome that? And then what did you take away from that experience?
Yeah, we've had a lot of failures over the years, because it's brand new territory. I would say one that really sticks out is when we first started doing our instruction, we wanted to go into something that was, a curriculum that was not combative. So we did world language, for the first year or two. We did Chinese, we did ASL, and then we were feeling pretty confident that we knew what we were doing. And so we were like, let's try math and science. So we tried math and science following the same instructional strategies that we did with world language, and we completely bombed that year. I mean, teaching a core language is way different than teaching a world language. And the expectations we placed on the teachers were not correct. And so we failed that year, and we did not renew that client. And it was definitely our fault because we didn't realize what we were doing. And we modified our instruction and learned from it, and really changed the way in which we actually taught online. Because taking a great teacher who's a phenomenal in-class teacher and putting them online doesn't mean they're going to be a dynamic, successful teacher online, because it requires completely different skills. And we learned that the hard way. And so I would say that was a pretty big epic fail the first probably 2 or 3 years of business.
Gotcha. The big piece of that is obviously reflecting on that and saying, okay, how do we do this better? How do we support our teachers better and make sure they're ready to take on this task? So I love that. Let's flip it now. Let's talk about a successful moment. And this could be something big or something small, but tell us what happened. Why was it a success for you? And what did you take away from that experience?
Yeah. I would say probably about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, Roswell Independent School District in New Mexico communicated with us that they haven't had a math teacher in their 3 high schools for about, I think it was 3 or 4 years now. And so their students were, failing the state test. I think 80% of their students failed the state test. And so they asked for our assistance. And so we came in, and this was our first real big math initiative. And we supplied math teachers across all their high schools. And in the first year of service, the kids went from 80% failing to 80% passing the state test. And so it was a real testament to that, we can actually do it. It was the first time where, the vision of the company actually, showed itself, that we could actually help kids, educate virtually, when they don't have a teacher there in front of them.
Evan, something I really appreciate about the work that you do is supporting students while supporting teachers. I think that's a big focus, and whether it be a focus in 2020, 2021, as we continue with remote or hybrid learning, or it's just a focus years ago or years in the future as we move forward from this pandemic, that we really need to ensure that our schools are supported, not only for the sake of our teachers, but also for the sake of our students. So that really gets me excited to know that there's somebody out there doing good work. I actually sit on a board for the state of Illinois for middle schools, and this is a constant conversation, is that some districts really struggle to staff their buildings. And I'm really excited to chat with you because it seems like you guys are truly making this problem a priority. When it comes to what's exciting you in education and everything that you're involved in, What do you feel like is really fueling your fire and keeping you excited about the work?
I guess there's really two things. I mean, one is, you know, I've been in sales for many years, even when I was 17 or 16, selling water balloons in the park. I was selling a product and I was getting revenue from it and it made me feel good, but it's a whole nother level of feeling good when, we partner with the school district and we sell one of our teachers access to a teacher. That kid's now getting education. Before us, that kid was sitting there with a sub. It, it's a product that just makes you feel good. I like to say this with my team is like, we get to do well by doing good. It's one of the few products we're selling where we're actually making a big difference in society. We're teaching over 50,000 kids now. Those are 50,000 kids that would not have had a teacher this year. The second thing is my staff. We now employ over 400 teachers. These teachers are teachers that formerly would not have had a chance to work because we allow them to work from home. We allow teachers to take advantage of the gig economy and actually pick and choose what they want to work. A lot of these teachers are actually, I think it's about probably 50% of our staff are actually stay-at-home moms. They were disengaged from education because they want to, stay at home with their children. And they actually still wanted to work, but they couldn't go to school full day. We allow them the ability to earn a salary and to actually stay engaged with education. So being able to actually re-engage the disengaged workforce is fun as well, because there's so many great teachers that leave education, whether it's for children or for finding another job or for moving or whatever it is. But we lose 50% of all teachers in public education every 5 years. That's 50%, and I'm re-engaging as many of those as I can to bring back into the classroom. So I think those are the two things that kind of excite me every day when I wake up.
Absolutely. And I think it's twofold. I really like that you not only have a focus on supporting teachers regardless of their situation, but also ensuring that schools are supported. A lot of our listeners are classroom teachers, coaches, administrators that might work in the unit office. Everybody has the same mission to really, really do good work to support children. If you had to pick one piece of advice that you would give an educator right now, one piece of advice to kind of leave your episode of Teach Better Talk with, what would be that advice for them?
That one piece of advice I would say is invest in yourself. Just like any other job, the better you become in your profession and the more you go up and above what's expected every day, the more you'll be recognized. Being a teacher is so valuable in today's society. The gift of education is the one free thing all kids get, and getting access to an amazing teacher is key to that promise. So being able to be the best teacher in the classroom and reinventing, because every couple of years technology changes, instruction changes, but being ahead of it, allows you to also be more valuable. Because let's say you don't feel valued at a school district, well, now there's companies like ours or other school districts that would be willing to give you your value. So I see it definitely changing and moving more towards, a value system for teachers. And so I would definitely say, make yourself the best educator you can.
I like it. Invest in yourself. Continue to grow. I love it. Evan, I'm going to do the next 6 questions. I'm going to throw them at you. Your goal is to answer each one in 15 seconds or less. Are you ready to roll? All right, man. What is one EdTech tool you cannot live without? I think a lot of people would say that. I think that's pretty accurate. Give us a good book you're reading right now.
Sure. I'm reading one called Never Split the Difference. It's from the FBI investigator, the head FBI negotiator for, terrorists and hostile environments, talking about how you can really negotiate to get what you want.
Who do you need to follow on Twitter or Instagram today?
I mean, I love Elon Musk. I'm sorry. He's moving out here to Texas, but he inspires me and inspires everyone by thinking to the future. And he hopefully inspires people to be scientists, engineers, mathematicians, and that's awesome because we need more of that and less of trying to be a professional basketball or football player.
What's a good YouTube channel, website, or podcast educators should check out?
Depends. If you feeling entrepreneurial, I like built to last. I like how I built this.
Mm.
It's really cool. I listen to that a lot. It gives me ideas on. And if I was going to start a company or be entrepreneurial, I think that's something that really could stoke the fire.
Yeah, it's a cool podcast. Give us a daily, weekly, or monthly routine you think every teacher should get into.
I would say, reading EdWeek. At least I don't know if it's the weekly one, but at least once a week. Because a lot of the articles, I would say, of all of the ones I've been reading, EdWeek comes out with some pretty good stuff about where the future of education is headed.
And give us the best piece of advice you've ever received.
I would say believe in myself. Starting a business is scary as hell, and there's so many times where you think it's going to fail, and believing in yourself is really the most important thing I could think of. The advice I've gotten. It's allowed me to get this far.
Evan, it's so good to chat with you. You're bringing a whole new perspective, something we've never really gotten to address on the Teach Better Talk podcast. So I so appreciate all that you're committed to doing to support teachers and everything you're doing for students across the country. I know that a lot of our listeners are going to want to connect with you further and learn more about the work you're doing. Would you mind sharing with us how they can stay connected, whether it be a website, Twitter, Facebook page, whatever works?
Yeah, I mean, of course, if you go to proximitylearning.com, we're always hiring. So if you want to work remote, please come. But same thing, if you want to connect with us, most of our contact information is there. I'm on LinkedIn as well. If you search for Evan Erdberg, you can find me and connect with me. There's a lot of, innovative things coming down the road. One thing that also I've been working on is I've been helping to assist the National Virtual Teacher Association, grow. We've adopted them at Proximity Learning because they have a standard of observation rubrics online and even a certification for teachers to teach virtually. And so we're adopting it at Proximity Learning. I would highly recommend any teacher to look into that. Kind of like national board certification. This is for teaching you to teach virtually, and it's really cool. And so I would highly recommend, for teachers to take a look at that too.
Very cool. And you can find all the links and all the resources we've mentioned in this episode over at teachbetter.com, as well as all the really important links for connecting with Evan and keeping that conversation going. So head over to teachbetter.com for all of that. Be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming episodes. And if you can give us a rating and a review, we'd really appreciate that as well. Let's keep taking this one step further. Think of just 3 of your colleagues who need to hear these amazing stories and connect with these amazing educators, and just share this podcast with them. Evan, man, this is awesome. I appreciate all the work that you and your team are doing consistently day in and day out to support teachers, support districts, and support students. I really appreciate coming on and chatting with us for a little bit, man. Thank you.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's always good to speak with you, and I hope you all have a good rest of the day.
All right. With that, let's get out there. Let's teach better.